Marco Rubio delivered a masterclass in handling the MSM. Check it out.
It does cost money to shut down AID, doesn't it? That's a fact.
No, we didn't shut it down. We moved, well, a couple things. We shut down AID because it was a dysfunctional organization. We moved it under the State Department.
During an ABC appearance, Stephanopoulos kept pressing Rubio on USAID, completely ignoring his answers. But Marco dismantled every talking point, leaving George with nothing left to stand on.
To the world.
Are you standing by your contention that
no one has died because the United States has cut aid? No. People have died because gangs steal the aid. People have died because the distributors of aid have not done well. People have died because other countries haven't stepped up.
That's why today we're covering it all. Because we're not here to follow parties blindly, we're here for common sense. So if you're an independent thinker, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
You and others in the administration have said several times that no one has died because of the administration's cuts to humanitarian aid and the shuttering the Agency for International Development. A host of international aid organizations have disputed that. They've detailed how many lives have been lost. Also, Nick Kristof of the New York Times had an extensive piece in the New York Times on Sunday, firsthand reporting on the deaths being caused by the cuts in aid. And he went on to say this. I want to show a tweet he put up. He said, "I also obtained an internal Trump administration memo stating that the cost of shutting down USAID is $6.4 billion over 2 years. That sum could save more than 1 million children's lives. Instead, it is being spent to shut down programs that saves lives." How do you account for that? How do you respond?
Well, that wasn't a memo. That was somebody who wrote an email giving their opinion internally. That is not an official document. That's someone who didn't agree with our decision. This is not about cutting aid. We're going to do aid.
It does cost money to shut down AID, doesn't it? That's a fact.
Now, first, you can't ask a question and then declare it a fact. That's not journalism. The role of an interviewer is to let the guest respond and allow the public to judge for themselves. Second, of course, we're going to get constant doomsday narratives from international organizations, and it's no mystery why. Shutting down USAID cut off a major cash pipeline, and that directly threatens their cozy money laundering schemes. Third, I'm sure you've seen endless headlines screaming that, quote, millions will die because of these cuts. But make no mistake, these numbers are built on speculative mathematical models loaded with assumptions. In other words, they're fear tactics designed to sway public opinion, not serious arguments.
No, we didn't shut it down. We moved, well, a couple things. We shut down AID because it was a dysfunctional organization. We moved it under the State Department. Number two, we are going to do more foreign aid than any country in the world. We're going to do more than anyone in the world, again, this year. But we're going to do it the right way. We're going to do it holistically. We're going to do it as part of an integrated foreign policy. We are not going to fund an NGO industrial complex that built itself up, that was taking a substantial percentage of the money and not going directly to the recipients. It was going to these organizations that had multi-billion-dollar projects and budgets. We're not going to continue to do it that way. We are going to provide aid. We're providing aid now. We just rolled out our new initiative on health. It's going to be much more successful and much more effective. We're going to enter into direct compacts with the countries. We're going to empower our embassies and our ambassadors to direct which projects we fund and how much money countries are going to be receiving. So we are restructuring the way we do aid. It's going to be far more effective, and it's going to be integrated into our holistic foreign policy.
And that's the right way to handle it. All these media chatter about USAID, quote, being gone is misleading at best. What really happened was cutting the questionable spending, while the life-saving programs and projects that actually serve U.S. foreign policy goals remain in place, now managed under the State Department. And when it comes to waste, Marco is absolutely right. The numbers are staggering, and they show just how much taxpayer money was being funneled into projects with little oversight. I'll give you the exact numbers right after we hear Elon Musk break down what was really going on behind the scenes.
The whole NGO thing is a nightmare, and it's a misnomer, because if you have a government-funded non-governmental organization, you're simply a government-funded organization. It's an oxymoron.
Right. It's a loophole.
Yes. It basically, the government-funded NGOs are a way to do things that would be illegal if they were the government, but are somehow made legal if it's sent to a so-called nonprofit. But these nonprofits are then used to, people cash out these nonprofits. They become very wealthy through nonprofits. They pay themselves enormous sums through these nonprofits.
It's so insane that that's been going on for so long.
It's a gigantic scam, like one of the biggest, maybe the biggest scam ever.
Now, just to be clear, this isn't about vilifying all nonprofits. There are plenty of good ones out there. Take the American Red Cross, for example, which directs about 91% of all donations it receives towards actual programs. But unfortunately, not every organization operates that way. Some are downright fraudulent, and the proof is in the government's own data. In 2021, an NGO called the International Rescue Committee, quote, received funding from USAID to provide humanitarian assistance to people affected by the conflict in Syria. Pretty good, right? But they, quote, received kickbacks and steered procurements to a Turkish supply ring engaged in a bid rigging scheme. Then billed USAID for these unreasonably expensive procurements. They ended up reaching a $6.9 million civil settlement under the False Claim Act with the government because of it. That's just one case, and there are countless others just like it. Going back to the ABC interview, George kept fishing for a gotcha moment, but Rubio didn't bite.
That's all in the future, but are you standing by that comment? You're saying that no one has died?
No, it's happening now. That's
no
not in the
one,
future,
no
it's
one has
happening
died
now.
because of the
No.
aid cuts? Are all those aid organizations
That's
lying?
ridiculous. Well, first of all, then they died because England didn't give enough money, or Canada didn't give more, or China did. Let's blame the other countries that don't do any foreign aid. How about China? I mean, China's the second largest economy in the world. They don't give money to these
So you're no
projects.
longer
did people
disputing
die
that the
because
aid
China
cuts have
didn't give
cost
more
people's
money?
lives. You're no longer disputing that.
It didn't. I think anybody who tells you that somehow it's the United States, if we cut $1, somehow we're responsible for some horrific thing that's going on in the world is just not true. Beyond that, I would say that in some of these places
Well, if that dollar's
cite,
not going
the
to
reason why
feeding
the aid
someone
didn't
or
get
medicine,
there,
someone's
excuse
going
me,
to
George,
die, aren't
one of the
they?
reasons why some of these places didn't get the aid is not because we cut the aid. It's because there's a war going on and the aid never got to the people. So in Sudan, for example, it's not just a humanitarian catastrophe, it's a war zone. Okay, the aid is stolen, the aid is impeded. In fact, they use aid as a tool against the people, and so blocking aid as a tool and an arm of war. So in some of these places, the reason why the aid isn't getting there is it can't be distributed. Look at Haiti. One of the reasons why aid can't be distributed in Haiti is you can send all the aid in the world you want. It gets hijacked and stolen by criminal gangs that control the country. And so they're the ones to blame for whatever's happening there, not us who provided more aid than anybody else.
It's beyond me how a citizen of a country drowning in debt wouldn't be concerned about the economy collapsing. Yet, we're debating about sending additional billions abroad. And Rubio is right. Some reports suggest that despite dismantling USAID, quote, the U.S. might still be the biggest aid donor in raw dollars. And here's another question. It's been months since the news broke about changes to USAID. So, where are all the humanitarian organizations or local governments? You'd expect them to step in and fill the void.
Are you standing
and
by
virtually every part of the world.
Are you standing by your contention that
No one has died because the United States has cut aid? No. People have died because gangs steal the aid. People have died because the distributors of aid have not done well. People have died because other countries haven't stepped up. But the United States has saved more lives and continues to save more lives than any other country in the world. And we're going to continue to do it, but we're going to do it the right way and in a responsible way. We're not going to continue to pour billions of dollars out the door of American taxpayer funds for programs that don't work and in some cases were flat out corrupt.
Exactly. Throughout the entire interview, Stephanopoulos proved himself to be a hack of a journalist. Rubio clearly explained that the good programs remain intact and were simply moved under the State Department. Yet George acted as if he hadn't heard a word, ignoring the explanation entirely. Instead of engaging in Rubio's points, like asking what type of programs were being kept, or what's the goal they're looking to achieve with it, he just kept criticizing back, waiting for Marco to finish speaking so he could re-ask the same question in a slightly different way. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, keep thinking.